My friend asked me to make a video of how I build a frame, and this is how I do it the most inexpensive way that looks really good and actually saves you quite a bit of money. I can actually make a pretty large frame like this after a little bit of investing. This is 36 by 24 for roughly like $23. So and it's also deep. It's an inch and a half deep, so you don't really you don't need to use frames. So that's a pretty cool way to do it. And that's what it looks like with just one color. But anyway, so I go to Home Depot and I buy 2x2s, which are actually 1.5. There's Select Pine. I don't buy the cheap. The only thing is I don't buy the cheap ones. So these are 8 feet. These are $10 a piece. But I've tried the like $2 ones that Lowe's have, and they're terrible. So I get these at Home Depot. They're $10 a piece, 8 foot. The cool thing about Home Depot is that you can take, and if you don't have a saw at home, you can actually get them to cut them to whatever length you want. I'm assuming they're free unless you're like, hey, here's 500 boards. I also need eye hooks, of course. And I get a heavy duty drop cloth canvas. I know if you have higher standards or you have the money to spend on actual canvas, that'll work too. But I've found that once you put a layer of paint on this, whether it be gesso or whether it be paint, it works freaking awesome. And the average person, this is efficient money wise. This is the best way to go. This one cost me $21. 2 pieces, $10. So it's 20, 41, 7. Some staples. You need a staple gun, and staples, of course. These things are frame vices. I got these for $6 a piece at Harbor Freight. I'm not gonna lie, I busted one right off pretty quickly, but then I think that was a little bit of, hey, you don't need to make this that tight. But these really help, and then you end up with a canvas like this. This is what it looks like from the back. So I use electrical wire. I got a bundle. I was working on electric in my old home, and so you can just splice that and get 3 wires, and they're pretty heavy duty. And I like using the copper, but I'm not picky. I'm not that picky. But again, this is what it looks like from behind before I build it, and then I'll be back. So we've got these cut to length. These are 3 feet, and I'm going to use 2 feet, so it's going to be 3 foot by like 26, 27 inches. Because they say they're 2x2s, but they're actually only 1.5 inches. So I use to fasten these together, and again, I'm talking cheap. This is how I do it. I use roughly almost 3-inch nails, 2.5-inch nails. You don't need a lot to adhere the boards together, and the canvas actually, when you stretch it and you pull it together, it actually just tightens everything up anyway, and it holds it in place. I never have any, especially with this size. This is a very sturdy canvas. Like, it's not going anywhere. It's not. There's a little bit of a play, a little bit, but I don't mind that. That's not a big deal to me. So they're really sturdy. Unless you start throwing them around, they're not going to fall apart. But anyway, so basically what I do is I take and I'll edit the drill out. I do. And so basically what I do is I'm using those nails, and I have to put 4 holes in here. I put 4 holes in there. One. 4 here, and then 4 on the ends, and you'll see what goes on from there. All right, so now I've got 4 holes on the ends of each one of those. So that's 4, 8, that's 16 holes. So what I do then is I actually take the shorter bar and I place it right there. I place it right there, and then we're gonna use a vise. And so I'm gonna try to do this with one hand because that's just who I am. So you put it there, and you tighten, you tighten up one side. You tighten up one side, and then you go the other side, and you push that in pretty tight. I used to use glue, just as like a super countermeasure, like, hey, this needs to be absolutely like it's not going to go anywhere. And I found that it's not necessary because the canvas really pulls it tight and pulls it together. So once that's tight, I needed 2 hands, and I'm too lazy to go get my tripod. So basically what I do is then I put it on the ground. I mean, again, this is like, hey, I don't have a shit ton of tools. This is how I do it. So I put 4 nails in there. So basically, like, there's already 2. I put our 2 in. So I don't even like 45 them. I just square them, and that still works really good because the 45s can be a real pain in the ass to join. So this is another simpler way to do this. So there you go. There's the frame. It took me about maybe 15 minutes to from start to finish to actually make this, 15-20 minutes. So that's it, and then we're gonna actually stretch the canvas on it and go from there. But I don't put any crossbars at this size. It's pretty freaking strong. It's not bending, it's not moving. I mean, I'm moving it around. So I mean, again, it's solid. It's not just because it's 4 little nails on each corner doesn't mean that it feels cheap. So bore you with cutting the fabric. So basically, I cut the fabric. I tried to use the corners. That was a brand new roll, so it was a brand new thing. So it was really easy. I like to try to use the straightest edge possible to work with, at least for the first side. So basically, I have it wrong. So we put the frame down, we pull the canvas up, and this one has the edge on it. I don't know if you can see that, the edge. So I just kind of keep that right on the other side of the piece of board, and then I find my stapler, and this is how I do it. So other people might do it differently. So I put one in, and then what I do is I just take my thumb and my hand and I stretch it down towards the end. And I go 1, 2, 3. And so that gets that side, and then I take and I do the same thing to the other side. And I'm pulling pretty tight. I'm not trying to kill myself, but I'm also not. It's pretty snug. So then what I do is I flip the canvas over, soon to be canvas over. Hit things that are sitting in my rafters. And okay, so we're on this side. So what I do is I put it up against the wall, like it's here, and I push it up against the wall, and then I come and I pull this centerpiece with my hand. And again, this takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of massaging, but I give myself enough. I give myself enough material that I can hold on to it. You can go buy canvas stretchers. They're like $7 to $12. I've seen them online, and I've never found that I really need one. When my wrists get older, I might have to do that, but for now, it's all good. So I push it up against the wall and pull. Also try to kind of stretch things out a little bit, make them as flat and as even as possible. You're gonna see that there's gonna be some bevels in here from the folding. That's okay because they're gonna go away. So basically then I just bam, and I run out of staples. Yep, and I run out of staples, so I'll edit that shit out. So I just give it a strong pull, put a center one in, and then basically I pull kind of at diagonal, but then I just move down. I move down the frame, staple, staple, staple. And I guarantee that a frame, a canvas stretcher is going to like be so much easier. It takes a little bit to really kind of pull that canvas tight. So your call. Again, I'm just trying to do it on a budget. All right, so now that I've got those two sides, what I do is I do the shorter sides first, and then I turn it one way and to the length, and then I'm out here, so I'm out here. Let's see if you can actually see that. Yeah, so I'm out there, and I don't actually pull too hard on this side. I kind of leave it, you know, I mean, it's definitely snug, but it's not like I'm really just wailing on that thing. So I'm just pulling it pretty snug and kind of pull it out to. The last one is the one that you want to, like, you know, if you're going to save your strength, that's where you want to do it, because that's where all the wrinkles from the folding and shit go away. I have actually ironed the canvas because I'm like, oh no, when I first started, and that's a waste of time. Just keep it snug, and then this last one will pull stuff out. And also when you put your first layer of paint, that's also gonna kind of, you know, take away a little bit of the wrinkles and stuff. So I actually pull pretty tight on this right here, push against the wall, and then here, there. And again, you can use, if there's a, like, you know, I'm using nails as fasteners, but like if you have a you know, box of screws, then by all means use screws. I just happen to have a big jug of nails that I don't want to waste, and I'm never going to use all of them. All right, so cool. So we've got that. So it's pretty. It is pretty snug. Like, that's, if you want to make it, you could put a stretcher bar on the inside, but for me, this is plenty of tautness to paint on. So if you're really concerned about that, you could probably put a bar in between here and just make it a little bit longer, and just wedge it in there, and it'll wedge that tight. So anyway, all right. So this is, I'm not going to show one. I usually choose a side that is going to be the top and the bottom. And what I do is I fold this down. So this, I'm assuming, sometimes it doesn't work out this way, but the short sides are going to be the bottom and top of my canvas. So basically what I do is I tuck this right here at an angle and just pull this into here, and just 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll trim that. So I'm not going to record all that. So I'm going to do all 4 of those. Give you a little closer look on this. So basically what I did, I'm going to use the short side, and I just basically, this can actually be rolled up in there. So basically I just tuck that at a nice corner, and then I put four staples in it. All the staples are like 1, 2, 3, usually about 3 inches apart. I'm not too anal about that kind of stuff. And then I literally just trim. So that's basically it. So there you go, you got a canvas. Now, for me personally, like, you can use gesso, you can use acrylic paint, you can use anything. Like, that's a base color on there. Actually, that's like, this painting has like 3 or 4 paintings on it. I keep getting bored with them, and now I'm working on something new. But yeah, so that's basically how it works. I just trimmed the edges of the back one, so it's not really interesting to watch, and it just cleans it up. So cleans it up like this. So basically, you just do that. And oh yes, eye hooks, and I'm just dumping this shit around. So you put the eye hooks. I've tried to kind of standardize like how far down I've been putting mine, but it seems to not work based on like the height of the canvas or the width of the canvas. So basically, I put an eye hook in, and then I just take the wire and I just wrap it. And this is just, again, this is electrical wire. It's from a roll that I had, so why not use it? And I just put it in there. And as you can tell, like, the paint does not come through. This is definitely, you know, it's not seeping through the fabric. It's designed. It's supposed to be drop cloths for painting walls and stuff. So it obviously does. You don't want it to go through. So that's the advantage there. So yeah. So that's it. I hope you dig this. All right. Later.